the swampy area. But this is interesting because it was handmade. As you can see, this is a water pipe, eucalyptus wood, some soldering work here, so it's working good. But people are not confident about this because it caused accidents. It blew and caused the eye accidents, and it's the reason why very few of these people are hunting with this gun. This is not working particular, and it doesn't work anymore. And they collect some bird eggs like this.
What kind of bird eggs are those?
This is the Puna ibis duck, the biggest one. Is the egg, or the biggest one is the small duck. Maybe you've seen on the shore the ducks with some blue beaks. They are males. This is a female. The same species makes this. And there are some big black birds, the coots, the giant coots, makes smaller eggs like this. So they collect them, and only for themselves. So like this, they dry the meat. They dry them with salt. The procedure is the same to jerkies, the beef jerky, and they store in the storage for a couple of years. They've learned to do this for drought years, but nowadays drought years we can manage the drought years. Nowadays for the taste is so good. At least they don't eat straight. They cook in a soup, usually in a soup, but people on the Andes usually boil it for over 1 hour, a soup. So the ingredients in the soup are melting all together, like a cream like that. So it's so good to eat the soup here, because the fuel is for free as well. It's the reason why they boil it for such a long time. So as you can see from the distance, or much later you can see, so some few dried ducks like this, they keep them in storage. This is an tiny bird, the grebe, which the bird doesn't fly, the grebe as well, the small. And they dry them some fish as well. The distance you can see, the dried fish. This is another native species of fish, tiny one. This is the size all the time. The adult one is this size. So usually the fresh ones we fry them. It's very crunchy, very good, with salt. So that's, they are the trout as well. A little bigger. It's a young trout. Usually they grow much bigger. And trouts, we have them into fish farms usually. Look it. Okay, that's what they eat, the resources from the lake. But they get, of course, they eat some potatoes, beans, some other things. But nowadays, she wants to show us. They eat from the mainland some barley and some quinoa as well. You've seen quinoa. And what else? They eat some dried potatoes, dehydrated potatoes here. I'm sure you've seen the white and brown colors. And they make it from the mainland or from Tuna City. Some cañua. This is this is quinoa and cañua. Much smaller grain, the family of quinoa. Very nutritious. Some lima beans as well. Lima beans. Some potatoes, of course, the regular potatoes. They don't plant them here on the floating islands. And some corn. A little corn like this comes from natural islands from the middle of the Lake Titicaca. Tiny corns, very sweet, of course. And some other sort of tubers. Looks a little similar to each other, but tastes completely different. This is like a carrot we can eat straight. We don't need to cook this, but this is horrible. We need to cook it. So, yeah, like that. Some sort of tubers. What is here? Clay. Clay to eat from the ground. And this contains penicillin. It's good for the wound as well, and extremely good. I mean, even for gastritis, for arthritis as well, is very good. This clay is like a mineral we eat, the salt, which is a mineral. The clay as well is very special clay. There are some few mines to get this clay from the ground, and it's good. Nowadays, ladies in the city use them as a beauty mask. Very good. So that's what do they get, but how do they do to get some money? Because they are restricted to make money with the resources from the lake here, and they make some works. Ladies usually work like this, some embroiderings, activities on the floating islands. Somebody's fishing here, couple is fishing, two ladies they're cooking in the island, and houses in the background on the mountains, the tombs, our ancestors' tomb, some wild animals farther on the mountains, like that. Come on.
Beautiful.
And of course materials comes from the mainland. They turn them into beautiful work like this. And here are the gods. And here is Mother Earth.
Wonderful.
Here is Mother Earth. This is how they imagine to Mother Earth. Like an old lady who lives far in the mountains. She represents generosity. Why? Because when we plant one potato into Mother Earth, she gives back 10 potatoes to feed us. She's a very generous Mother Earth. And here is Father Earth, the male part of the nature. He represents the rules. So rules, for example, we cannot plant potatoes or crops any time of the year, only in October or November. If we plant in December, for sure, they will be no good harvesting, no good harvesting. So like this, and here is the spirit of the lake. The spirit of the lake looks after fish and birds, and we can get these resources to survive. So like this represents some spirits here. Come on. Some, during the week usually they collect some money, and on Saturdays they go Puno City for shopping, because on Saturdays people from the mainland come to Puno with their products, and would be good priced on Saturdays. And even smugglers, they import a lot of Bolivian products, and a lot of varieties might be found there in Puno City on Saturdays. Small mobile. This idea comes from their ancestors. According to the story of these people, they say our very first ancestors used to live in floating houses. They were like a gypsies hanging around Lake Titicaca. A little later they found a lot of resources to survive here in the swamps, and they stayed around here. And much later they discovered the materials to construct the islands. So in that time there was not plenty of room to celebrate a wedding. They used to celebrate a wedding like this. The couple in the middle and single one is dancing, or some sort of ceremony. So nowadays it's completely different. When they have a wedding here in the island, the all neighbors from the other islands are very welcome. And they get a very loud music, and everybody's dancing in the island. And you might imagine the whole island is moving like a jelly, like that. Come on. Yeah, yeah. Okay, next, my friends, she says they may, if you want, you can visit their houses to look how do they look. And probably inside they are going to ask you to dress up with traditional costumes. It's up to you. You can dress up for pictures as well with them. So they are here for ladies. You may follow to their houses, my friends. Again. Their husbands must be working. They went to harvest the reeds and went to catch the fish because they need to work very often in the island. So only ladies stay here, their husbands working outside. Okay, my friends, you might follow to the ladies.